Hi, my name is Mary Wong, and I'm a registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist, founder of Alive Holistic Health, and author of Pathways to Pregnancy. Thank you for being here with me today for my live post number 70, and this will conclude the 2017 posts. So this will be my last post for the year, as I am going to practice what I preach and going to take a couple of weeks off. And I am so thrilled that I am so proud to know that I've done 70 posts. Who would have thought that I could keep going with this? So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me as we're going to end off this year by reflecting back, because what I want to see is transforming your shit show, so to speak, from this year. So things that we have had tough times with and we want to transform it. And transforming it really doesn't mean like this big nuance of things to do. It's really like little things that we take step by step, and actions step by step, and strategies step by step that we can add in our lives to help us grow and help us see that, despite our challenges, there's an opportunity to grow. And because, many of you have been going through fertility challenges or have had upsets through miscarriages, stillbirths, or just the monthly roller coaster ride of getting that no in terms of the pregnancy tests, it's very difficult to navigate. And instead of looking at what is missing for 2017, because you had hoped for and had dreamt that certain things were going to happen this year, which didn't, just look back and look at the challenges and see perhaps that you've had this ability to grow. You had an opportunity to grow. And look and evaluate, really today, how happy are you in 2017? Or are you really miserable? So on the happiness scale, 0 to 10, so despite baby or the process of making baby, is there any happiness? And if it's not, then that's something to work towards as an opportunity for 2018. And even if there's not much there that you have seen, I want you to really dig deep and look inside and look at what kind of opportunities have I had to grow, right? So for some, it may be looking back and saying, wow, I actually see that despite all this stress, I had learned to say no. So, and I can think back of a person, which I won't name names, but to say no to seeing a colleague who had a newborn baby and the wife shows up at the office, and you decided to have self-integrity to say, you know what, right now I'm happy for him, but I'm sad for me. So being faced with a newborn baby is not a good idea for me right now. So being kind to myself to say no, be proud of that moment where you said no. And be proud that when a colleague on the following Monday says to you, gee, aren't you a cold-hearted bitch because you didn't see the baby? You replied with, I'll say honor and your truth and your authentic self by sharing and without shame and just saying, hey, I've been having a tough time and it's okay to say that. And because of that, I chose not to go. And there's integrity in that. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for growing with this adversity. So be proud of these moments. So for me, we all navigate and we all have stresses in our lives. And one of my proudest moments, and oh, by the way, for those that you do not know, I wrote my book, Pathways to Pregnancy, during the wee hours of the night when my baby was just an infant herself, infant to toddler. And the reason being was that I didn't look upon it as a struggle. It was just like in me, and I had to get it out of me. And the only time I could do that was in the middle of the night, because during the day I'm working. And then when I came home, I wanted to spend quality time with my daughter, who it took me 5 years to conceive her. So I was not willing to separate myself and say, hey, I'm just going to go write my book now. But so what I did instead was I would wait for her to fall asleep. And sometimes I would fall asleep, and then I would wake up at midnight. And that's when I would start writing, in the middle of the night. And because knowing that I would not have a second child, because we had such difficulties having children, that I knew that we had our one baby, and my book was my second baby. So instead of thinking, oh my gosh, it is so tough and so hard, which it was, I have to say, I looked at it as, this is my baby. And this is what I would do for my baby. And this is how I love my baby. So my baby book, it was, and it was birthed last year. So that was one of my proudest moments in 2016. And now in 2017, my proudest moment, really honestly, has been in a couple of occasions where the readers have reached out to me and said, hey, I've read every book out there on fertility, and yours is the only one that is providing me with hope. So I knew that after a year and a half of writing in the middle of the night, it was not a loss. Thank you, David. Yes, the book was my other baby, for sure. So it was truly an honor to write it and actually have someone say, hey, you did the right thing. It's made a difference. And I get to own it. And so I want you to reflect back in your life and say, hey, what have I done that is causing me some proud moments? And it could be just that, the ability to say no, as I mentioned about this other patient that I talked about. Because challenges, adversity provides us opportunity to grow. And you are growing, whether you like it or not. And take it upon yourself to really look at this challenge and really invite you to grow along with it. And really, instead of just focusing in on, oh, gee, how am I going to get this baby in my belly, really provide this as an opportunity for yourself to have self-care, self-love, and really grow in ways that you never thought you would. Maybe it's an opportunity for you and your partner, if you have one, to get closer and really bond as a couple. Because honestly, if you can get through this, you can get through just about anything. Because I'm not sure if you know, but the challenge or the stress of going through fertility treatment is equally stressful as one who goes through a serious illness like cancer or heart disease. So just know that this is real and that we don't downplay it. What stress is, it's a true struggle. And so when I say transform, I also don't mean by candy coating and sugar coating and pretending that everything's okay if you're not. So we want to acknowledge your struggle and acknowledge being the warrior that you have been and you are being right now. And acknowledge the perseverance that you've been going through as you navigate this world. And know that perhaps in the future, if we live moment to moment to moment, perhaps our happiness scale from 0 to 10 can inch up one notch higher. Because that's what it's about, right? We're wanting to be in the present moment and making this moment a little better. And so there are strategies around that. So instead of saying for 2018, well, this year I'm going to have my baby, which, by the way, what you're going to do is set yourself up for unfulfilled desires, possibly, unfulfilled expectations, possibly. So I'm not saying that it can't happen, but watch for saying certain things that are like so positive that all it does is actually set you up for disappointment if it doesn't. So I'm not saying don't be or be negative, not at all. But I am saying it's okay to be in the moment and do the best that you can do and say, hey, I gave it my all this time. So I'm not going to be disappointed by that. And yes, okay, whatever you're doing. So whether you're changing your lifestyle, your dietary habits, or going through an IVF cycle, whatever you're doing, just say, hey, I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm doing this without any regret. So that's what you want to work with, not, oh, I want to have a baby before my 43rd birthday or my 40th birthday or by July 2018. So those kinds of setups really are you're just creating or setting yourself up for disappointment, right? So let's not do that. So here's the thing. How can you feed your soul right now? So it starts with now. First, acknowledging what you have accomplished this year, who you've been being, and how you've been being, and perhaps transforming that way of being right now. And look in your life and to see who you're grateful for in your life. That is your partner. And I'll say this with David Bray, as the saying goes, expect nothing, be open to receive. Absolutely, love that. And it is about receptivity and being open. So thank you for adding that in. And for those who do not know, David Bray is an awesome, fantastic practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. By the way, I have to say, for Americans out there, I hate saying that we're traditional Chinese medicine practitioners because in the province of Ontario in Canada, we're not allowed to say doctor yet. So we're left with practitioner. So anyway, I would like to call Dr. David Bray doctor because that's how I see him, even though my college does not allow it. So Dr. David Bray to me. Anyway, let's spin things around, spin your mindset around. And instead of saying be positive, I actually don't love the word positive, by the way, because I feel like there's just so much pressure to be positive. So I think it's good to be real. I think it's good to be hopeful and have something more lighthearted. But to be positive, I think sometimes puts pressure on people. I know it did for me. So if you don't identify with it that way, great, you can continue using the word positive. But for me, it's like, let's just be a little bit more lighthearted. Let's be present. Let's have hope and inspiration. And you never know what comes out of it, right? Where receptivity and openness can be a part of that. By the way, as a last declaration, I just have to say the other thing I'm proud of, which I think a lot of women may do the same thing as myself, or maybe not even just women. Now I'm being sexist. One thing that I had issues with is receiving compliments. So I invite you to receive your accomplishments and your own acknowledgments. And in fact, I want you to compliment yourself. Really think back, what are you most proud of? It wasn't until a couple of weeks ago when a student practitioner reached out and wanted to follow me or shadow me for next year when I said, well, why do you want to follow me around? Why am I so special? And she says, well, it's because you're successful. You have been around for a long time. You see a lot of patients and you've been doing this for half your life. And I just went, whoa, what are you talking about? And so, see, I actually do go day by day and not really acknowledging what I've been doing in my life. And it wasn't until in that moment that I thought, oh my goodness, I have been doing this for half my life. And so as a little science experiment, later I walked away actually calculating out how many people or how many acupuncture patient visits I've delivered. And it's over 50,000 treatments. So I remember the last year of Chinese medicine college, what stuck in my mind was one of my favorite teachers. He said, you know, you're not a master until you've had 50 years of experience. So in my mind, I'm going to always be a novice practitioner because 50 years is a long time. But when I reevaluate this and looking at it in a different way, I've done 25 years with over 50,000 patient visits. I'm like, wait a minute. Now, Malcolm Gladwell from The Tipping Point says 10,000 and you're an expert. So according to that rule, I'm like way more than an expert, way more than a master. And I've never let it soak in into my heart. And now I finally am like, you know what? I'm doing something and I'm making a difference. So I want to, again, I say this because I want you to look in your life and say, hey, what have you done for yourself and into this world? What have you contributed? And say, I am proud of this. This is who I am. What is your purpose outside of just trying to make a baby? And I'm not going to say just trying to make a baby, like I'm undermining it. But I'm saying your life is more than just having a baby. So what are you doing for yourself? And if you're struggling and if you're like looking and going, nothing, then my invitation to you is for 2018, what can you create that you are proud of for this coming year? And not just in the art of baby making. Because listen, you've been struggling and may continue to struggle. But outside of that struggle, can we have moments of peace, moments of being present and acknowledging your life and living your life with some purpose? And it could even include giving back. Like you're struggling, and so, maybe going through a support group and you give back and you help others out. Or maybe nothing to do with fertility at all. And giving back in some way, like to your partner or to your family or to your friends, where you can surprise them with one thing a day. So strategies in mind would be little steps for transformation. So again, maybe what you could do every day is when you take a shower, this is when I do it, by the way, I reflect in my shower. I like to multitask as a woman. So I think of, what am I grateful for today? And then I think of, what's one kind thing or what one surprise can I do for somebody today that's going to light them up? Because guess what? The act of giving provides us a moment of joy because it's gratifying to be able to give. So think about one nice thing you can be doing for someone. And then think about, well, if I'm going to do that, who am I today? Who am I for these people? And so for me, I like to say I am loving, unstoppable, and courageous and kind. Because guess what? It takes courage and the ability to be unstoppable to say my piece. And having struggled with infertility, I am not going to be in shame about it. I am woman and I have had adversity and I am human where we are not beyond life's challenges. We have that. And it's okay, and I honor that. And I don't think I would be a practitioner the way I have been being, which I think is a better person, a better mom, and a better practitioner, having gone through the adversity. So I honor the struggle. So I invite you to honor your struggle. So I think that's it. So for 2018, giving helps us to be able to receive. Yes, very good. So if we're bringing it, thank you for tying it back up, David. In the way of giving, the act of giving does allow us to be more open to receive. And there's a saying I basically borrowed from Randy Lewis, which I actually stated in my book. And the image of, in our struggle, we think about climbing up a mountain, which is a struggle, right? So instead, I invite you to live your life in a way whereby you're not even climbing a mountain. It's like, forget the mountain, stop looking up. It's like, it's giving you a crook in the neck anyway, right? So instead, look at yourself and be a valley that you are, because when you're a valley, you can receive in stillness. You invite life. And in the act of living, life begets life. If you are not happy, if you are miserable, and if you don't recognize yourself anymore through this struggle and this journey called life, then I say, hey, now start. It's time to live your life, and 2018 is around the corner. So here's an opportunity for you to start right now. Don't wait for 2018. We still have, what's today? 20th. So we still have 11 days. So live your life now. Start recognizing yourself and create a new person that you want to be with your 3 words. Create who you want to be and how you want others to see you now. And say that as a mantra every single day in your shower. Okay, it doesn't have to be in your shower. It can be wherever you want it to be. But do that. So thank you for watching. And I really want to honor you for sticking with me and checking out my posts. Hopefully you've been checking out my posts. And if you haven't, check them all out because I have 70. And I will continue to create more. And I want to thank you for having this be possible. And this is my giving back to you. And this is our journey together. So I want to wish you a very happy holidays. Oh, I just missed that. Taking time. Sorry, David. Let me see if I can see. I can't even see the write-ups. Oh, wait. Here it is. Take time to walk around the mountain and enjoy the scenery. Ah, yes. Okay. That's another way of doing it. Yes. Another scenery, a different route, a different pathway. Hence my book, Pathways to Pregnancy, because there's more than one pathway to receiving your dream. And sometimes what we do not know is our dream may not even be a baby at all. You may not like to hear this, but in some instances I have seen that it's not a baby, meaning having peace through living your life. For some it is having baby, but not necessarily in the way that we thought it would go. It could be in the way of donor sperm or donor eggs or surrogacy or IVF or IUI, which is not natural, which again, something that people do not envision themselves going through because of course, automatically you think it should go easy. It should be an easy journey, right? And it's not. So that's the reality right now. And we're going to be with it. And we're going to live in the present. We're going to be the valley. We're going to walk around the mountain. And we're going to take in that scenery. And we're going to live our lives. We're going to breathe. We're going to say our mantras. And have a happy new year. And I'll see you in 2018. Thank you. Pick up my book, Pathways to Pregnancy. Oh, yes, I did say it. Okay, I'm having short-term memory. Anyway, have a great night. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Mwah. Bye for now.